Thanks for joining us today. I'm Steve Sanborn with Neurologic. We are a sales and distribution company that is focused on brain and neurological health, and we are located in Kansas City, Missouri, although we do work all over the US and Canada, and we are a proud partner of Neuro20. This is a 30-minute lunch and learn session, giving you all an opportunity to learn more about Neuro20, the Neuro20 Pro Smart Suit, and how that can be a functional tool, a fantastic tool for your practice or for your athletic environment, whether you're a PT or an AT or beyond. We just think that Neuro20 is one of the best tools, the best devices that we have had the privilege of working with. So today I'm introducing both DJ Schmidt, CEO at Neuro20, as well as Mike Finkelstein, COO at Neuro20. And lastly, Dr. Davis Brockenshire, who is one of our favorite clients, and to share his user and patient user experience. We've posted a little bit of communication information on the top right in the chat box. For those with a hard 30-minute break, feel free to post your question in the chat while this presentation is going on. And with that, I'm going to move it over to DJ to discuss Neuro20 Pro Smart Suit. Thanks very much for joining us.
Well, thank you everybody for having us. It's a pleasure to talk about our product and what we're doing. My name is Dennis Schmidt. Go by DJ. I am the CEO and founder. I founded this device for my own recovery from injuries that I received overseas. But I built out the MVP, and then I, got it to a certain point, and then I brought in a great team of doctors, scientists, educators to help build this product out to where it is today. Michael Finkelstein, who's on the call as COO, was the first person that came on board with me. He has a lot of experience. I'll let him talk about himself when he comes up. I want to point out some key people that really helped bring this company to where it was. Dr. Palermo, he's our medical director and has been the medical director and developed medical device companies in the e-stim device industry. He created the FX stimulator and a company called AC Plus that exited the hangar. He has 12 patents on neuromuscular stimulation and cranial electrical stimulation. He's the founder of the Neuro-Rehabilitation program for the Department of Neurology at Yale. We also have Dr. Maltezo, who is the director of life sciences at Caltech, who has 26 patents plus in nanotechnology and EMS, and oversaw the medical device production from ideation to manufacturing for FDA compliance for multiple products to include helping with ours. We have a great team here, but in the sense of time, I'm going to move right into our product. So it's a wearable suit with 20 pre-placed electrodes that is machine washable, cable free, antibacterial, antimicrobial. The 20 pre-placed electrodes that are in the suit basically cover 42 different muscle groups. They're large, they're contoured to shape the muscle. So that way we're activating as many neurons in every muscle group as possible. Not only is it designed to activate as many motor neurons in the muscle group that it's covering, electricity travels till it dissipates. So the higher stimulation on a large muscle group will have excess overflow. The stimulation travels till it dissipates. So it's designed to be stimulating the large muscles, activating as many motor neurons there, but the excess flows down into the fast twitch muscle and activates additional muscle fibers, fast twitch muscles. For example, even though we're not on the knee, when you're using our program, you'll see the peroneal nerve twitching. You'll see the fibers in the knee going, in the elbow. You don't have to cover the muscle groups to be able to activate the muscle groups. It's Bluetooth, 100-meter range, and it's machine washable. You just take it, put it in the washing bag, and throw it in the washing machine. The control box that actually operates the suit is a simple USB-C sliding guide that just clips onto the suit, has a 100-meter wireless range, and we can operate up to 10 patients at a time with the system. The system software is a very easy to operate software system. As you can see here on there, we have multiple programs: strength, body toning, cool down, massage, strength 2. Well, what really, these are your traditional NMES and FES programs. One of the things that really sets us apart is the patterned electrical muscle stimulation that we've patented. The patterned electrical muscle stimulation actually fires the complete motor chain And we do it in reverse order: third stage, second stage, first stage. So instead of the brain spine muscle, we're activating the muscle through the spine, telling the brain. This helps with neuroplasticity. The programs are easy to operate. You can set the duration of the time, the ramp up of the time, the stimulation time, and the rest time. Once you do that, then you move over and you see here on the right side of the screen the muscle groups that you can do. So we have the pectorals and deltoids as one channel, and one muscle group, excuse me, not one channel, is one group. Then you have the left bicep, right bicep, the right bicep, tricep, left bicep, tricep, the pectorals and delts, abdominals, the left side of the back, the right side of the back, the glutes, the left quad and hamstring, and the right quad and hamstring. And what we're doing with a lot of these that are paired up, for example, like the bicep and tricep, we're basically, having antagonist and antagonist muscle activation. So for example, on a concentric and eccentric motion, we're using the bicep as the resistance. When you're putting your arm out straight, as the tricep contracts, we're putting resistance on the bicep. This is providing a maximum voluntary contraction 20% greater than what you can normally achieve by using your own body as that. So it's really, we're causing resistance in both directions in the concentric and eccentric motion, utilizing your own muscles for that. And that's why they're paired the way they are. Individual user profiles. So we capture the profiles of every one of your patients, and you can go and log in and you can look at them. You can see where they trained, when they trained, who they trained with, what program they trained on, what the intent duration of the training was, the percentage that each muscle group had, so you can constantly track everything that they're doing. The physiological effects of what happens when using full body is basically neuroplasticity, reversing the signal, like I talked about, third order, second order, first order, instead of first, second, third order. But then what happens is the first 5 minutes of using whole body EMS, what happens is during the warm-up phase, the first 5 minutes, you have vasoconstriction. This is constricting your blood flow. But after 5 minutes, the ACH increases, and this causes vasodilation, 30% larger than normal at the microcapillary level. And what does that do? That increases blood flow. Now, the increased blood flow is promoting healing, joint recovery, increased tissue temperature, which increases the production of synovial fluid, the metabolic flushing, O2 nutrients, and waste extraction. We do not have a tense, and we really don't make a pain management claim, but all of our patients that we've come across say as soon as they put the suit on, one of the biggest things is once the E-stim starts on the full body, it starts giving them the ability to move more because it's blocking the pain receptors. They're feeling less pain as soon as the E-stim. So that's giving them the ability to activate and move more. We have an increase in lactate production, which causes positive effects for VO2 consumption, the motor re-education, extremity activation, core stabilization, full recruitment versus AMI, increased endurance without pain. Now, there are studies on BDNF production with utilizing EMS devices, traditional 4-channel stimulators. The brain-derived neurotropic factor that's produced was showing in this study between 18 and 30% increase in BDNF on a 4-channel stimulator. We bring this up because we're going to be going into some clinical trials on what actually a whole body stimulation does, because when you're done training with this, even though it's an intense training, you feel alive. It's almost like a runner's high. You have your proprioception, your ability for clarity. You feel energized when you're done, not with the traditional workout when you're tired. And that's a big difference. The FDA has basically cleared us for the indications of use of muscle strength, flexibility, range of motion, blood flow and synovial fluid, tissue temperature, and lymphatic drainage, while at the same time decreasing injury rate, pain and swelling, muscle spasms, muscle atrophy, and delayed onset muscle soreness. At the same time, promoting reaction time, activates dormant muscle fibers, muscle adhesion recovery, and the sequential muscle firing patterns that we have. I am going to turn it over to Michael Finkelstein, who will talk about the reimbursement landscape and the models that we're putting together for the cash-based businesses as well. And he'll talk about the reimbursement models. You're on mute, Mike. Michael, you're on mute.
Muted again. Hello, chest 1, 2.
You're there
Can you
now.
hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. So again, what I wanted to ask was a simple question, which is, Dr. Wong, are you a cash-based practice, or are you a hybrid, or is it reimbursement? What is your current practice or your current model?
It's a hybrid.
Okay, excellent. So for a hybrid model, what I would like to say here is that these are the codes that we are currently approved for. You can bill the following codes: N71, the 97,000 codes, basically, from N7110 up to N7150. These are the most valuable ones that are listed on this slide. And the beauty is, according to Medicare rules, as long as you use one of our programs for 8 minutes, you can stack the billing. We can't tell you which code to use, but we can say is that other practices have stacked the most expensive code, which is 97112. They've done it, for 3 times within a 30-minute session at $34.95, which is $104.85 reimbursement. So that physical therapy clinic is finding $18 increase per patient visit over what they were doing previously with other stimulators. The other thing is that you can stack group codes, which is 97150. That's an $18 group code, which means if you're seeing 2 or more patients at a time, and then you can, as long as you pull a patient aside and do any kind of intervention with that patient, you can also then turn around and stack the 97112 code for that patient. So for example, if you have 4 patients in your group, that would be a $72 reimbursement plus a $34.95 reimbursement for each patient that you do some kind of individual treatment for. If you start getting up to the 6 patient groups, you're already above the $104.85, you're at $108. And then the same applies for the $34.95 per patient, and so on, up to 10 patients at a time. You certainly don't need the same diagnosis for the patient, as long as the patient is receiving neuromuscular reeducation or gait training. Massage mode would be good for massage, or any kind of therapeutic intervention that you're doing with neuromuscular rehab. So that is the reimbursement model now. We are in the middle of applying for PDAC for certain E codes. So if we can go to the next slide, DJ. Okay, so these are the 2 that we're applying for, and these are reimbursed floor-to-ceiling models. These are capped rental models for DME. We believe that we're going to certainly qualify for the large majority of our patients for EO731, which is a capped rental, depending on which state you're in, up to $411 per month for sending this home. We are approved for at-home use by the FDA. However, until we have the DME in place, we won't be doing the capped rental. It's in office only. The EO764 was the capped rental for the Parastep, which is for spinal cord injury patients, to have them mobile, get them mobile. Our director of science owns Parastep. They were the invention team of Sigmetics, who owns Parastep. And so we're putting the Parastep program under one of our patterns for pattern electrical stim, which will allow us to reimburse for up to $1,353 per month to send it home for spinal cord injury patients. The other addition to that is that when you start doing it remotely with the DME in the future, then these are the CPT codes that you can use and bill for various monthly billings. So $19.38 per patient to train them on how to use the system. $55.72 is for remote therapeutic monitoring. So as long as you go in and look at what your patients did in the system, that would be the $55.72 once a month. $31.49 is if you are in the facility. $50 if you're not in the facility, If you decide to do if you do for the first 20 minutes, like a telehealth session with them. So if you were to guide them, they have the equipment at home, you're on the Zoom, you're telling them what exercises to do, then you could bill $50 for that first 20 minutes and $40.85 for every additional 20 minutes. So if you did a 40-minute session, that would be a 90-minute bill per session on that. Plus you're getting the rental income on the cap rental. So that's why we're also going to go the DME route. I can certainly share with you cash models if you're interested. We can show you your net present value of the equipment, your return rate. I'm telling you now, the return rate is phenomenal. You're going to be paying off the system within 2 months, 3 months max, depending on your practice. And then there are cash-based models, which is the cash-based modeling is if you decide to sell the suit to your patient. The models that I talked about here is if you have suits in your clinic and you're washing the suits, or you're charging a rental fee for the suit each time a person comes in, you can charge them a rental fee for $5 for the suit. That'll cover your laundering costs. That's if you're maintaining suits in clinic. If you decide to sell the suits to your patient, we will, Neurologic will sell the suit to you, and then you will turn around and set a manufacturing, anything above manufacturing retail price to sell to the clinic. And sell to the patient. And that's pretty much the financial modeling. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brockenshire now so he can talk about patient experience.
Hey, thanks, Michael. It's good to finally hear you talk. I love these slides on the coding because this is almost exactly what I came up with back in September when I was doing my research. So it's got to be real. It's true because we're all coming up with the same format. Yep. Gary, my office is 100% cash. There's, unless we're doing a special situation for an auto or something like that. But the reason I was interested in the program is being in neurology, the greatest barrier to taking that patient all the way to the finish line is teaching their brain how to release old habits. And that's where the pattern stim came in, being able to apply these technologies to the whole body at once while we go through neuro rehab just changes how everything gets done. One of the questions I had from a physical therapist today is, well, how long do these corrections last? Well, they're permanent. It's conditioning, So we use an example of a gentleman who's never been able to do a pull-up. Yet in the suit with some TheraBands, he was doing pull-ups. The next time out of the suit, he could do a pull-up. So that training is a lifetime. And as you start rebuilding the abnormal patterns of movement, they last forever as long as you're conditioning correctly. The case studies are coming along and they're quite miraculous. But what I find interesting is, and Steve, you and I talked about this in Colorado this summer, that I was getting into this to really focus in on my professional athlete level patients to try to improve performance. And I was a bit self-serving. I wanted to be able to, watch Netflix with the suit on and get abs of steel. While you can do that, the shift has been that while the pro athletes are benefiting from this, we're getting a different type of patient base now. So we're getting permanently disabled, critically injured people. For example, a lady just had cervical spinal surgery. They screwed up, the screw was too long and it went into the spinal cord. Well, what are you going to do? That's permanent. But with the suit, we've been able to route around the inflammation in the spinal cord, and she's walking again. And so the sky's kind of the limit on this. We've also been working with a physical therapy house that is a cash-based PT house, and they specialize in autism. And in that world, everybody's interested in hyperbaric therapy. And said, well, there's nothing that says you can't use the suit while you're in the hyperbaric chamber. I mean, that's just a 2-for-1 win-win. So we're learning to apply these technologies in the arena of other technologies. I have patients, and DJ, you can yell at me for this later, but after a workout, they'll sit in an infrared sauna in the suit for 10 minutes on massage, and it really amplifies that lymphatic component. But what we've been seeing and what we're able to do with it is kind of ridiculous from a medical technology point of view. I think the biggest limiting factor for this tech is going to be our imagination. So the next step is I've got to get some skiers in it. We're going to be on the slopes, because it is that portable, and we're going to do some rehab on those knees while skiing. I mean, I can't think of another tech that would allow you to do that. But, do we have any downsides? Well, yeah, if you don't lubricate the electrodes correctly, you get a little bit of a zap. So that's it. That's the only downside. Suit up, lube up, and let your trainer or your PT, put the system together. It's one of those technologies that once you use it, you're sold. You want it, and you want everybody in it. We've had pretty much every kind of person you can put in it, and we've got neurosurgeons now looking at it as part of post-surgical rehab for spinal surgery. So I think we're still young in its genesis, but now that we've got our coding and reimbursement lined up, I think that conversation is going to be a lot easier for bigger houses. But yeah, you'd have to fight me for me to give up the suits. Michael, to your point, what we do as a cash basis is we've got a dedicated neuro rehab specialist. You can buy a suit from us, or if you buy a package of 10 sessions for $900, we will include a suit with that purchase. And the idea then is you own that equipment. We want you to use it. We've had nobody not follow through with the sessions and then continue. So there's a lot of different ways to come at it. We try to make it as affordable as possible. But I really like where this is going in the physical therapy world. But also this afternoon in 20 minutes, I have one of the trainers for Notre Dame's football team, and she's going to try the suit. And she just had her ACL repaired from skiing. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we had some great results with ACL meniscus repair for D1 athletes.
I remember.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw out there one actually on the sauna.
Yeah.
Great call. If ever there's a sauna available, even a wet sauna, not just an infrared, regular sauna, that's a great way to warm the body up before training and get the electrodes going good. So I wouldn't yell at you for that. I'm glad you figured it out on your own, because I do it too.
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. And then on the other note, we've been testing electrode creams, which one, because we have specially designed electrodes that are proprietary. We finally got one that doesn't deteriorate the electrodes. We've been testing it. It's actually a Parker's Lab Sigma cream. I will send you a bottle, and then it's amazing. And it lasts for up to 4 hours on the suit. So even if the patient puts it on, up to 4 hours as soon as
Yep. And Dr. B, the other thing I'll mention is we're also hearing from some neurosurgeons now as well, and they're looking at using it for a full cycle. So they want to use it prehab to kind of like show how they're avoiding surgeries, or at least trying to reduce, get a better outcome post-surgery. So they're using it in a prehab cycle and then moving it into a rehab cycle right after.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Kind of close.
So we're getting kind of close to our close. I wanted to give Dr. Wong an opportunity as part of our listening audience to fire away with any questions or thoughts that you may have, sir.
No, I just when I heard about the technology, I thought, first off, for myself, because I was injured by a patient 6 years ago, and rehabbing has been a bit of a challenge with my work schedule, between running my practice and I own a martial arts school, and I haven't been able to actively participate with my legs because I tore sartorius, glute medius, and the medial part of the hamstring, all on one leg. And so looking at the suit to help figure out how to rehab myself while I could still be working would
Right.
be just for me phenomenal. Because being hooked up to electrodes, as you know, is that's fine. I can stand there, I can work and develop some things, but I can't really work, and I got to be down while that's happening. So I thought I can even put the suit on while I'm teaching my classes and rehab myself while I'm teaching for the 4 hours that I'm there.
And you can wear anything you want over the top of the suit. That's beautiful. You could literally put a suit on over it and use it.
Yeah. So that's why when Davis talked about it, I was like, wow, this is really kind of cool because I could set it up and develop the programs. And then as all my clients who've seen me just limp around the office, when they see the change, then it's like, okay, well, we see what you're doing and let's do it too. So
Yeah. Well, it
Gary, I've
sounds to
worked
me
with it
like we
before.
ought to be doing like a before and after.
yeah, exactly.
All right. We'll talk about your injury today, but we'll come back and see how you're doing in weeks or months from now and get your opinion then.
Yes, no, definitely. Yeah, I finally, I guess, been texting back and forth with Steve, and yeah, we've got a couple things that we got to take care of around the office first. But I'm thinking about picking up a unit maybe in a couple weeks from now. So
Sure. Yeah. Happy to work with you, obviously. Other thoughts on Dr. Wong's comments, anybody?
I just wanted to say one of the things that we do have is we have just worked out a really great relationship with a finance company. This is a third party company. So that like practices, we know a lot of practices, especially if they want to get into the bigger systems where it's just really low monthly payments. And they basically said anybody with a good credit score would be in the single digits on the financing, and they can finance it up to 3 years, which makes the payments significant. Even adding a monthly payment in, like the return on the investment is great. So we have finance options available now through a third party bank, a couple different third party banks that we've been working with.
okay,
To make, sometimes you don't want to come out of cash. Cash is king. You want to leave cash in the bank. So a lot of times if the interest rate's good, it's an idea to finance it and let it pay for itself.
right.
We can certainly provide financial modeling that shows the discount, the cost of money. So that's not an issue. But I want to be clear, we're not earning anything on points. That's not what we do. This is all third party.
Right.
Very
Okay.
good. Well, gents, thanks very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. As I mentioned, Neurologic is easily reached. Our information is in the top right here on the chat as we run this for just a couple more seconds. Feel free to reach out, neurologic.life or steve@neurologic.life. We'll be glad to answer any questions and put you into a fantastic e-stim suit that's going to change your life, change your patients' lives for the long haul. So again, thanks very much all for joining us, and we will be sure to get the recorded version out to everybody soon. We'll be sharing that out to a larger list. We did have a few folks we knew wanted to be here today, but happenstance, I'm sure things happen. So we'll get it out to them, make sure everybody gets the word, and we'll be back to everybody for another session in the near future. So thank you very much, and we will see you all again.
Great, guys. Hey,
Thank you.
Gary, stay in touch.
Yeah, I will. Thank
All right.
you.
Good to see everybody.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for your time, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you.